There are cities that sing, and there are cities that scream. But Sarajevo, in 1992, did neither. It simply survived, day by day, under siege, its voice buried beneath the sound of mortars, the crack of sniper fire, and the quiet grief of people lining up for bread, knowing it might be their last act. On May 27th, a single shell landed in a crowd of civilians waiting for flour. 22 died instantly. No warning, no justice. The next day, a man appeared at the blast site, not with a gun, but with a cello, and he played. In the 1990s, the Balkans erupted in a civil war born of old wounds and new borders. Yugoslavia, the post-World War II Federation of Republics, fractured violently along ethnic and nationalist lines. Sarajevo, once a mosaic of Bosniaks, Serbs, Croats, and Jews, a city that had hosted the Winter Olympics just 8 years earlier, was suddenly a death trap. For 1,425 days, it was encircled by Bosnian Serb forces in the surrounding hills. Mortars rained down daily. Snipers picked off civilians crossing streets. There was no electricity, no water, no fuel, just fear, hunger. And the question, what will kill us first, the shelling or the silence? Vedran Smailović was no politician. He wasn't a soldier. He was the principal cellist of the Sarajevo Opera. He saw the massacre outside his window. 22 of his neighbors dead. So the next morning, he dressed in full concert attire, black tails, white shirt, and walked into the crater where they died. And he played Albinoni's Adagio in G minor. A piece drenched in melancholy, not written in defiance, but in mourning. He returned the next day, and the next, 22 days. One day for each victim. He played while sniper rounds echoed in the distance. He played while shells whistled overhead. He played as if the music could hold back the collapse of civilization. Journalists started showing up, photos were taken, stories published, and the world began to notice the cellist of Sarajevo. He became a symbol of dignity in despair, of music as resistance, of art as a final defense against the barbarism of war. But here's the thing, he never asked to be a symbol. He never issued a statement, never claimed to speak for a cause. He simply sat in the rubble and played, because silence to him was more obscene than death. After a year, Smailović fled Sarajevo. The war had become too dangerous, but his image lived on, larger than life, almost mythical. Books were written, songs composed. A novel by Stephen Galloway turned him into a character. But he was angry. They used my name, my music, my pain, without asking. To him, his cello was a funeral prayer, not a plot device, not a brand. And yet, what he did could not be undone. His act echoed beyond Sarajevo. Yo-Yo Ma performed the same Adagio at Ground Zero after 9/11. Musicians across the world echoed his vigil. Cello against violence. Smailović didn't stop the war. He didn't change the course of history. But history isn't always changed by generals or treaties. Sometimes it's changed, or at least remembered, by a man in a tuxedo, sitting on a broken stool, playing a cello over a crater filled with blood. He reminded us of something dangerous, that humanity, even when surrounded by fire, can still whisper beauty. That's what made him dangerous. That's what made him matter. The Siege of Sarajevo ended in 1996. The cello has long since fallen silent, but its echo remains. Because sometimes, the most powerful protest is not a scream. It's a single, broken note, played in the ruins.